Yeah, we back. We live?
Yo,
Yes.
we back.
Another amazing Monday.
Happy Monday, fellas.
How y'all feeling?
Feel good. Feel good,
I
man.
think I know the obvious answer is we feel a little bit tired, but we here.
Yeah, we here.
That's the most important thing.
I feel good, man. First and foremost, thank you to everybody that came to Invest Fest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing, very amazing weekend. From Thursday registration all the way to the last party on Sunday. It was so much stuff, jam-packed information, panels, fun, commerce, man. Everybody just been, the feedback has just been amazing.
Indeed.
Everybody that, a lot of people came for the first time.
Yep.
Was that like, that was one of those things that I was taken aback by. I was like, this is your first time? This is your first time? There was so many newcomers. A lot of people came back. Was a lot of newcomers.
Yeah.
That was kind of exciting. It was like, oh, this is going to be a treat. You see him Thursday. Oh, I can't wait for y'all to see what's happening. Yeah, see him Friday. Yeah, how you feeling? This is incredible. Yo, we still got 2 more days left.
Amazing energy, amazing information. 50. Amazing. Showstopper. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We'll get to that.
When you came out with the band?
Hey, greatest ever do it, yo.
Yo, talk
all the humility.
Can you talk me through that process? Because I suppose we speak almost every day, and then I got the text, and I was like, "Can we do it?" Yeah, he said we can do it.
I couldn't do the zip line until
let's do it.
So I got to give Ashley credit.
Okay,
this was Ashley's idea 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So shout out to Atlanta Drum Academy, bring the kids out. I thought it was a dope touch. I think it's really important in these spaces, and I know we may get criticized for it, but like the information is great. You have to be entertaining so that they can retain it.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's true.
Like watching Martin Lawrence, she's so crazy. And even after like seeing 50, like, yo, I watch comedy. He got up and started working the stage. You have to work the stage for people to retain the information.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to just implement a little creativity and take my crown back too.
It was fly.
And for the record. Yeah.
Incorporating the kids is always a great thing.
Yeah,
and visually just watching it. Like I watched it backstage. I came out and watched a little bit of it. Then I saw it on socials and I was like, damn, that looks clean.
There was a lot of packed house too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all know. I'll be playing humble and shit, but
we wouldn't expect anything less.
No, that was definitely
star.
Sunday was that day though. Yeah. Sunday was that. I mean, every Sunday. Saturday was
even
crazy.
With that.
Yeah.
Think of my mind. We got the baby genius kid doing multiplication.
Nah.
Yo, shout out to him. He's different. I love the family, love the page. I'm like, ooh, Xander.
I saw him warming up backstage.
Yeah,
I'm like, how? They're like, oh, he's gonna be 3 in September. I'm like, 3?
Yeah.
I'm with my 13-year-old daughter. She's like, Dad, we just learned that last year.
But the power of focusing on one thing and master. But think in my mind, okay, we got Kenny Burns, icon, Tyrese, icon, Steve Harvey, Stephen A. Smith, 50 Cent,
Don Peoples.
Yeah, it's like what?
Yep.
You may not get your next opportunity. Treat everyone like it's your only one.
Yeah,
facts.
Have to.
Sunday was a good day.
Man. We got Pinky Cole American Sesh.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
It was jam packed.
That was a Sunday service.
Absolutely.
T.I. came out surprised.
Shout out to Tip. Shout out to TJ.
So
Damon John.
Absolutely. Yeah, I miss Damon John.
What?
Yeah, I heard that was good.
Yeah. No, it was dope, man. So. And then Saturday, of course, we had the marathon $100,000 pitch competition. Congratulations!
How many people told you that was their favorite part?
It was mine.
Yeah, it was a very, very, very good moment, man. Shout out to the whole marathon team. They brought the whole family out, man.
That was a surprise.
Nip's children, his father,
that was touching.
Sam, Adam, Lauren, the All Money In team. Yeah, they came like 20 deep. 20 people.
The whole team. So we saw the list of the people that might come, and then when we got there and Sam was there, it was like, all right, well, maybe the rest of the team didn't come. So when they got on stage, that was even a surprise for us. We didn't know like they were gonna pop out. I was like, oh, the guys is really here, man. And I don't know if we were released, but we had like a little huddle backstage as we came off to like try to figure out who was gonna win this pitch competition. That moment was so ill. It was like everybody in the family trying to figure out who this money's gonna impact the most.
Yeah.
It was a dope moment. One of my favorites.
Yeah, and the wax figure Nipsey was like,
whoa,
that was immaculate.
Whoa.
That was crazy. That was crazy. So,
beautiful.
Man, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about everything later. But man, just a very, 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 very powerful moment, man. Even 50, if you read his caption on his video that he put up, he was like, yo, you just had to be there. Like, it can't really explain it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to be there in person. And that was heartfelt. He didn't have to do that. There was no contract to say he had to make a post about it. That's really just, that was how he felt. That's really how he felt, like just seeing it. And for somebody like that who's been, you know, all around the world and done shows in front of soccer arenas, 60,000 people, and, you know, Madison Square Garden, and you name it. Like, you know what I mean? So for him to say that was a vibe and you had to actually be there in person to experience it,
says a lot.
Coming off of Human Harmony that he just did with 40,000 people, he understands the process of the festival. Like you said, obviously he's performed, but the appreciation that he saw, even the conversations we had before he went on stage, when he looked at it, he did that 50 laugh like, yo, yeah, I got something. We need to figure something out. Incredible, man. There were just so many moments. We're gonna get into that later. I got a few moments that obviously didn't make the stage and probably weren't recorded that were just special. I'll talk about those, but historical, man. I'm proud of everybody that was part of it, everybody that stepped on the stage, the pitch competition.
Incredible.
With all the judges leading up to it. I remember me and Shadi was going up the escalator, and we looking at this line like, whoa.
No, it was
a ton of people.
It was crazy. But all right, well, like I said, we'll give the full recap later on in the show. I know you guys want to get some stock information, so
big week too.
We'll get into it. But first, you know, big episode. We got Earning Leisure tomorrow, and we got Blackout on Wednesday. So 1 o'clock tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Can I show y'all some love real quick?
Yes.
Shout out to that Shannon Sharp Blackout.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, Blackout.
We're not just going to breeze by that.
Yeah.
Shout out to that Shannon Sharp Blackout Friday night, VIP night.
Nah, he went crazy, man. He got emotional up there.
I cried.
Yeah, man.
He got emotional. He was telling stories. He talked about Skip Bayless. He was talking about his journey. He was talking about Cat Williams.
Yeah.
He said if Cat Williams, if they would have recorded the whole thing, it would be 100 million views.
Yeah. Even it kind of makes me want to see
right away.
Start right away. Start recording.
He said he came in the door already, but nah. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. That was crazy. Monica performed. That was dope vibe. VIP night. It was a whole weekend. But
Drone show
was
crazy.
Went
viral.
We get into that. It's too much. It's too much. But I wanted to give y'all credit. That was fine.
Check out Blackout on Wednesday, 10 o'clock. And we got some other big announcements that we'll be making throughout the course of this programming. But disclaimer. Oh, Ian, you want to say something?
Yes. If you want to get rich from the market, this is the last time we're going to have a deal on stock club sales. So go to ianinvest.com. Listen, y'all saw the reaction. I don't got to do the hard pitch, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you want to know where to get in, where to get out, what to buy. Also, the presentation from yesterday will be in there by Tuesday. But later this year, I'm going to go through every slide and go into detail on each one. So that's a bonus I want to add. So if you want to know the top 12 indicators for how to trade, how to know if we are in an economic recession, how to build your own crystal ball, and how to get 3 to 5x return over a 5 to 6 year period. Results are not guaranteed. Please consult your advisor. Disclaimer. Go to ianinvest.com. This is the last one. Price goes up next month. We are running for a week, but after this, finito.
Yeah, I was going to say that after the first segment, but yeah, I'm glad you said that. So this is tradition. After InvestFest, we always do a stock club sale. And as I said, we actually did a few this year. We think we've done like 4 this year. But talk to Ian, and this is the last one of 2024. Maybe we'll do something in 2025. Who knows? But of 2024, this will be the last one. So this is actually a sale that's happening, a stock club sale. And in Stock Club, you get access to the latest trends when it comes to the market as far as like buying prices, right? Like when to actually buy. Right? You get the group calls, right?
Every week.
You get is Sniper still included?
Sniper included.
You get Sniper, right? Which is a setup to actually learn how to trade futures. Right? And it's for multi-years. It's 3 years?
Yes.
So if you get in, you get in for 3 years. It's 36 months. So, man, I mean, if you watch Market Mondays, if you've been following the journey, you know about Stock Club, and you know it's been helping a lot of people as far as their entries and executing, hands-on approach. As I said, I always say, like, Market Mondays is like public school, and the education that you receive at Stock Club is like going to private school. You can go to public school and still be a great student. And
Harvard's different.
Yeah, for sure. It's just you have a higher. It's just it's just an accelerated fast track. So ianinvest.com. This is the last sale, 50% off, I believe it is.
Yes.
Good for 3 months for Stock Club, and that's it.
3 years.
3 years, my
Yeah, 3
bad.
years,
3
yeah.
years for Stock Club, and that's it for 2024. So that's it, man.
All right, AG Money, please put yes in chat.
That's it. All right.
Yes.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, no, how this works, man. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show or wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Continue to do the research. Shout out to everybody that showed us what they did with the research.
Yes.
They actually executed on the research, showing us their portfolios that have actually generated thousands. I saw a couple millions.
Yeah, I saw a couple million.
I saw a couple million there. Shout out to y'all. Let's keep growing, y'all. This is what community looks like. This is why when you're on stage, it's packed because of the results, and that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Get the research, and when you got the research from somebody, give credit to them. It's all love. It's all love.
If you made millions, you could at least bought me one of 50 champagnes or something. You know what I mean? You was in Josephine's when we burned it up. You know what I mean? Josephine's was packed, but it was a vibe.
Yeah, it was packed. It was definitely packed.
All right. So the Dow recently touched a new record, but then struggled. So what factors are influencing this market behavior, and what should investors expect next?
Traditionally, after we hit an all-time high, 80% of the time we pull back.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming off stage yesterday, we're going to make everything super simple. Put in chat, stop worrying about the small things. After we hit a high, if there's no positive asymmetric risk to reward, meaning if I put $1 in, can I get $1.50 or $2 out of it? Most investors are going to take some profit. The market is going to come down. Got a big week this week.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some factors that are lining in to it, but you don't have anything to worry about. I know NASDAQ is rattling. Nvidia is going to weigh heavily on NASDAQ, but I think a lot of times when people are having these kind of concerns, we've proven there's a mathematical formula to the market.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when we get to an all-time high, it's going to pull back. Same thing, like I brought it up before, but if you're playing a basketball game, you score 55 one night, you're probably not going to get 55 the next night. You're going to revert back to your mean. That's all that happened here. So continue to invest for the long term, hold quality stocks that matter.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
I think this is like the sensationalism of finance. Right, like for somebody,
you got to hit ChatGPT for a great headline, right?
It's crazy. Yeah. It's like the Dow hit a record today, but it couldn't hold it. Yeah, but it hit a record today, right? And it fell back slightly. And then the next article will say there's a sector rotation. We're moving out of tech.
Sector rotation is not for retail investors. I keep telling y'all that.
So we see money. I think energy sector went up 1%, and we'll talk about that a little later on as to why. And tech fell down maybe 1%. Okay, I want these same headlines to show that type of urgency Wednesday evening, Thursday morning.
Absolutely.
After the biggest earnings, right? Like everything is really relying on the 28th. Like we can't like sugarcoat this. Powell spoke Friday.
Yes.
The market, it shows some good strength. But we're all waiting for Wednesday.
Yeah.
We want to see what growth looks like. And when you're talking about growth in this economy, it all revolves around AI. And if it's talking about AI, it's definitely Nvidia.
Yep.
So their earnings is coming Wednesday. That's what we need to tell. Like, that's it, right? Like, we'll see what the Dow does then, right? We'll see what the NASDAQ does then. We'll see what the S&P does then after they report their earnings, because that will be the catalyst either for a negative return or a positive return. It really comes down to that.
Yeah, this is like when Def Jam was waiting on that 50 album to drop, and they was putting all their artists on hold.
Everybody stopped.
It was like, hold on, just wait.
Just wait.
Just monsoon came. Same thing. Nvidia gonna deliver. Don't worry. Everything will be fine.
We're not. I don't think there's any cause to worry, but you have to realize that, like, when you're reading articles, and it takes time to realize that, is this just sensationalized, or is this actually something that's legit and it actually fundamentally makes sense?
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see, and we know going into September, and we talk about it all the time, September being one of those months
where it's rocky.
It's a little rocky. October a little rocky.
Yeah.
But that tail end of the year, that November, December, we start
January push is good.
Right. So we're getting into that moment. Rate cuts we'll talk about. Nvidia being at the 28th of August is perfect, because it could be a catalyst that maybe offsets some of that volatility. So we'll see.
And also on you guys know this better than I, but on the media side, Mondays are a very important day. So you need the articles to be a little bit more sensational to capture attention and eyeballs. A 1% drop is like, what the hell are we talking about? And this is great for the Dow. NASDAQ has been running up so much. Dow hasn't gotten as much love. So everything will be fine. But wait for what happens on Nvidia this week.
So, okay. So, U.S. crude oil prices have jumped 3% following the halt in Libya's production and a recent Israel-Hezbollah attacks. So, how are these geopolitical events impacting the energy market, and what could be the long-term effects?
I'm going to do the 50 Cent. I'm going to stay out of international affairs. Thank you, Mr. Curtis Jackson. I'm not smart enough to even know about these geopolitical issues, but I do know oil does go up in times of conflict. These issues in the Middle East have been there forever, and whenever there is unrest in the Middle East, right, oil tends to go up. So from a technician standpoint, I totally get it, but I am not Fitz from Scandal. So
all right. I'll give you the notes. All right. So today,
steering clear.
I'll give you the notes on what's being reported. So Monday, obviously today, the oil production and exports in Libya are going to be shut down amid dispute from the internationally recognized Western government in Tripoli over who should lead the central bank inside the country.
The who?
The central bank. So they're trying to figure out who's on the central bank.
That's another. The third topic 50 would have brought up.
We stay out of that, right? But here's what it does mean, right? So Libya produces about 1.2 million barrels per day, with more than 1 million barrels per day exported to global markets, right?
Yeah.
So everything that they're taking, they're putting out. So if there's a shutdown, what does that mean for the rest of the global economy when it comes to oil?
Yeah.
That means that U.S. exports now may rise, which means that the price for those barrels now may rise.
A little bit more pricier. Yeah.
Right. So now, you know what I mean? Because you're talking about an area, obviously in the Middle East and Northern Africa, and they're shipping that all through that region. If you can't get it from that supplier, who do you go to? You're starting to look for other international exporters. Yeah. So the price per barrel may go up. So that's when we see it. They talk about this sector rotation outside of tech into energy. Yeah. Well, geopolitical situations like this and factors like this show you as to why that could happen.
And the funny part about sector rotation, they always say when they're rotating out, but then they'll post Nancy Pelosi trades when she's rotating in. Like, why don't you tell us to rotate in? Please? If you want to know how to do so, go to eninvest.com and I'll help you rotate into the market at the right time.
So, okay. So amongst active stocks, Boeing, Nvidia, PDD, Supermicro, SolarEdge. So which one of these do analysts believe have the greatest potential to move higher, and why?
Kudos to everyone at Boeing. I won't have any negative commentary on you this week. I appreciate you and love you dearly. I think Nvidia and Supermicro are the two obvious winners in these. Right. I know some people are getting a little bit more optimistic about Boeing. I'm not sure as to the catalyst is why. I'm in my PR bag today, right? But Nvidia and Supermicro seem to be the two clear winners in this space. Even Nvidia pulling back a little bit. I'm like, like, if Jordan scores 37 against Milwaukee, like, is it over for him? Are we at the point where if like LeBron gets 29 points, like he's no longer the prodigal son? Like, bro,
it's like Jordan scoring 12 in a game, and they're like, well, maybe he's falling off.
It's not a good investment. Okay.
Yeah. Next game he drops 54.
Wednesday and Thursday, the sentiment will be dramatically different. Nvidia, Supermicro, you guys would be good. Hold for the long term. Yeah. Those are the two out of this pile that I like.
Yeah, I mean, other ones, if you even look at Boeing on the year, and just looking at technicals, it's down 30%. Yeah. Right? PDD, the Chinese online retailer, is down 24%. Even Supermicro is down 20%. Yeah. At one point, Nvidia pulled back 20%. Yeah. But since that point, it's climbed 30%. And so if we're talking about which one, I mean, it's the obvious, because it's only going to help the entire market, but it definitely helps to semi-space. Yeah. Whether it's Broadcom, whether it's Supermicro, even AMD, we've seen some movement. So many companies will be relying on what happens because, again, it speaks to growth in the economy, and the growth in this economy right now is predicated on the movement in AI.
Listen, I know I said I don't think we'll get any cuts, but if the Fed chair doesn't do it, we go. Listen, Intel went through a deep correction. Boeing, a great institution in America, is going through one. There's some other companies that are going through like price corrections that no one is talking about. And the Mag 7 isn't as magnificent as it used to be. So if we have everything relied upon one company, I think there may be a little bit of trouble.
Who leaves the Mag 7? Who do you think leaves it?
It got to be Tesla.
It's Tesla. I love what Damon John was saying yesterday about Amazon.
What did he say?
He was they were asking what company, and he was like, most people would tell you Nvidia, most people tell you, but he's like, I like companies that disrupt multiple industries. So they disrupt healthcare, right?
Yes.
They come into the food space, they disrupt that.
Yes.
And they already have e-commerce.
Yes.
So, and you know, if they have that track record of disruption, they're liable to do it in another industry again.
Yeah.
And so he was like, that's a company that I love.
Amazon's a soft conglomerate.
Yeah.
People don't look at it that way, but that pill pack acquisition, Credible, Ring, Whole Foods, like, so yeah, it's one of my favorite picks. I know Nvidia is sexier right now, but like, I think people forget if you want steady gains, they've out delivered what indexes will do by far.
Yeah. The only knock on Nvidia, and it's a slight knock, is the cost worth the spend? We don't know the return yet on what this AI will do. We can predict it, and it feels very obvious.
Yeah.
From a fundamental standpoint of what it can do with functionality, obviously from cost standpoint of not having people actually working and having you know AI taking the place of some of these positions, but we just don't know how expensive and if it's worth the cost yet.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. As far as that was one of the highlights of the last couple of months is when you called Nvidia.
Yeah.
Walk us through that, like, you know, walk us through that whole journey of actually calling that price.
Yeah, I did the same with Bitcoin.
It's true.
So the funny part is, like, when you study a craft every day, you'll start to see mispricing and things. So when it got, so here's like my rule of thumb: whenever the mainstream begins to talk about a stock, the run is pretty much over. That's why even if they do a split, you'll see all the rise before the split, and then we'll have a pullback. So just studying, because I've been on probably since 2017, 2018. I remember when like AMD was kicking their ass, like by far. And then they shifted directions in business. But there's only a certain percentage any stock can go up over a 3 or 4 year period of time. There hasn't been any stock that's went up 13x in a 5-year period that didn't pull back, or they didn't go up 700%. They didn't have a deep correction. Now you're just breaking mathematical laws. So the true, like, a great lesson to learn is to know what the true value price of a stock is. Homework assignment for the night is what the average should be. And if you use the Fibonacci retracements over a 5-year period, you should know between the 50 and the 78 is where the stock should hover. It's like a median. But once the stock goes up 4 or 5x, you're basically betting they can go up another 4 or 5x. Right. I'm always going to take the inverse of that and then want to buy more at that price. Even like, okay, when Rolex was going crazy, 2-3 years ago, those prices have come back down. So now if we have geopolitical issues and the biggest companies in the world are spending less in certain areas and they're correcting, then every other company on earth has to correct as well. And it's a little bit troubling that Nvidia only has like 9 big clients. Now, if they added 10 more, then you can have growth of maybe 2 or 3x more. But when it's like the Mag 7 is buying from them,
right? Do you need those other
but
ones?
not Deloitte or Accenture yet or Bank of America yet? Why haven't they added that for the compute? Goldman hasn't done it. The stock exchange hasn't bought from them yet.
Yeah.
So
this is true. I mean, and what you're saying, even that last point is why, when people said why AMD,
yeah,
and it was that point, right? Because their clientele is the large client.
Yeah,
the GPUs are very expensive.
Yeah, incredibly.
And so somebody can come in and say, all right, you've got that clientele, but there's thousands of other businesses that still need to perform at a high functioning. If I can get to a price point that makes sense for your business, I have now a clientele.
Yeah.
Today, Nvidia announced something incredible, right? Because there was obviously tension between U.S. and China relations, and they weren't allowed to sell the super chips.
Yeah.
They now decide to say, okay, well, we're going to make a chip specifically that meets the mandate so that they can now sell in China, which is now, you figure, they don't lose that market.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, all right, we can't sell the H1, right? We can now make a product specifically for you that we can sell.
But should they be able to do that if we're at war? See, like, it's crazy to sell light blue magic to China.
What 50 say when he came to the front of the stage?
Yeah.
I don't have to like you.
Yeah.
We just got to do business.
Jensen, get that money. I imagine.
He gonna find a way.
Yeah, sure. Find a way.
Well, I wanted to talk about that because, once again, that kind of goes into Stock Club, right?
Gotcha.
And so if you're just joining, a legendary stock club. After InvestFest, we've done this for 3 years in a row. So 48-hour stock club sale, 50% off.
Yes.
And it makes a big difference if you can catch Nvidia at $100 as opposed to where it is now, $126. And it's just a 2-week difference, right? But that could equal thousands, hundreds of thousands, depending on how much money you put in and what you're doing, whether you're investing or whether you're just doing options or whether you're trading, whatever. And that's the competitive advantage. Because you could just, if you put money in at 126, you're still going to make money if you hold it long term. But if you put money in at 100, like I said, depending on the type of leverage that you're going to be using
or
in
95
the position, then it could be a tremendous difference, right? So, putting the wings on your back, it accelerates it. It accelerates the growth. You still can go, but when you have that motor pack, you're gonna fly faster.
Yes, and make way more money.
Last stock club sale of the year.
Yes.
It's the last one of 2024. 50% off. IanInvest.com.
Yes.
Post InvestFest sale. See you on the other side.
Prices go up in September. So be
mindful. Are they gonna be this price ever again?
No, we're going at least 15.
At least
15. Oh, and for the rest of you, tweeting deleters. Listen, I know some of you may not like the traction that I've gained over the past few years.
Talk to him.
I don't like no one can tell where the market is going to go. If I'm on a retail side and I built this crystal ball, you think all the machine learning that's went into Goldman or Vanguard or BlackRock. It's the first time in history I got pushback for saying BlackRock and Vanguard run the market. I'm like,
I got some pushback for you, man.
I said,
they said he talks about VOO a lot.
I'm like, I'm
you know who I heard it from.
With that being said, I'm sorry. We got to put me in a group chat.
I got you.
But my thing is, like, I get tired of people who were in the space before this show came about telling people you can't know where the market is going to go, and I've proven that shit wrong. And if that's the case, why not you educate the people? I was independently, financially free before the world caught on to who I was. I'm not a pundit. I made myself free first and then freed millions. Y'all heard that fucking reaction on stage. Who else got that? So, opposed to criticizing me, why not create some millionaires? I made you money, please put. And you ain't the only one who be on the phone with no billionaires. And one day we're going to have a net worth conversation. One day. I've been ready. But one day. Y'all see I've been glowing. That's peaceful, relaxed, chill, boy. So help more than you criticize. And I appreciate you trying to protect me from the ills of the SEC. Kudos to the SEC. But I've proven alone you can predict where the market is going to go.
Indeed, my brother. Indeed.
Wingstop.
I'm thinking
Philippe.
I'm thinking Philippe.
So Wingstop's been on fire. Outpaced his other fast food competitors.
They should have sponsored some of the dinners.
Yeah, they should.
That Joe didn't go to.
Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe. So where are you at?
Appreciate you.
Where are you?
And we're not sending pictures from the dinners.
How far can Wingstop go? What's the momentum ceiling on this?
I think while Starbucks is having a better path now with the CEO, Chipotle is coming down. But they're like the Amazon of the fast food business. They're incredibly consistent, and you wouldn't think because of maybe they're not a higher price point product, they're not a luxury brand, but the stock has done incredibly well.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
When you think about Wingstop, you know what I like to think about? They've watched people in their space, and they've mastered the space. Absolutely. They sell wings. That's their thing.
Yep.
Think of another brand that sells Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yeah.
What do? They have wings. That's their thing.
Yeah.
In-house dining.
Yeah.
What does Wingstop do?
Yep.
They have wings.
Yeah.
Most of their stuff is online and it's mobile, right? They've mastered the technology of getting people a product, and they've mastered the product. They've given you different flavors, and they've given you a simplified way to get them. 70% of the revenue comes from ordering online.
That's amazing.
70%. That means that people aren't coming in, sitting down. That means you're not paying waiters and waitresses, right?
Yeah.
people are coming to pick it up. Uber Eats is coming to pick it up. Profit margins are higher.
Yeah.
The product, people love it. There's a loyalty to it. Obviously, having a celebrity promote it over the years has helped
a lot.
But they've made it very efficient, and then they've leaned on the franchise business, right? So now a franchisor, it's not going to cost the same, but there could be more profit. And so you can expand at a higher rate. Yeah. You see them, you're starting to see them everywhere now.
Absolutely.
But they've mastered. Like we used to call Domino's a technological company, right? The technology and the pizza is the product. Wingstop has done that with wings.
Absolutely.
I think it might be even higher this year. I think 75% of the revenue is coming from online and mobile ordering, which is incredible.
Last year, the stock was at 162.89. It's currently at 407.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Simplicity is key. Like companies that get too complicated, and we've seen it, you try to have too many SKUs or you want to diversify too much, it ends up being a mistake.
Yeah. If they start selling like burgers
and chimichurri,
then we're going to start seeing, all right, there's a sign, there's a slowdown. They're trying to get something that's happened.
Yes.
The fundamental, it's Wingstop. We're selling wings.
Even McDonald's, when they made that shift a decade ago and tried to put healthier options in there for value price, it seemed like a great idea. Fell apart. Even Pink and Cole talk about it. We tried to give healthier options.
Didn't work.
It did not work.
It didn't work.
Yeah. Focus on what you are great at.
Yeah.
Like even for me, I focus solely on the stocks and the prices.
When McDonald's did that SKU, when they tried to give the healthier options, what else did they put out? The dollar menu.
Yeah.
Right? So you can get the healthier option, but we're going to get the cheapest version of what you can get. You can get a double cheeseburger for $1 now. We can get you $1 fries. The craziest thing, they used to, the math never added up. They had the $1 nuggets, right? You get 4 nuggets, but if you buy 3 of those, right, now you got 12. You got 12 nuggets. But then they're going to sell you the 10-piece for $5.99.
I wasn't in that marketing meeting. That's
somebody there's like, yo, he's right. I used to do that all the time.
No sense. But that's good in a zero interest rate environment. Rates go up, inflation goes up. No more dollar menu.
Shotty, I haven't eaten that in a while. He looking like I don't trust nobody. Him and his keys like, yo, y'all niggas still eat McDonald's?
Low vibrational.
Low vibration foods.
Yeah.
So Jerome Powell, Federal Chair Jerome Powell, expressed concerns about the timing of potential rate cuts. So what are the implications if the Fed has waited too long to cut rates, and how could this affect the economy?
I think it's a great question, but I don't think it can ever be too late. That's like saying it's too late to give a person a cash infusion. Ask the winner of the $100,000 if she got the money too late. Like it came right on time. So if we get a rate cut, it would definitely help the market overall because we need some breathing room somewhere. Like now, everything is higher and cash is compressed a little bit more. Even in this market, even though the stock market has went up a bunch, outside of Berkshire Hathaway, I haven't seen Warren sit down with Becky Quick in a long time. They'll usually do that when it's time for that sign of safety. They have not done it. Everything's right. I said it on stage. Jensen is not as great as, but he is this generation Steve Jobs. Everything is hanging on to a thread according to what Nvidia is doing. So I don't think it would be too late for a rate cut. Now, if I was running for office and I had a lead, I would love a rate cut right now because it'll really be over with. So staying out of politics.
Who are you going with? CEO of the year?
I thought you were about to have
No. CEO of the year. Is it Jensen or is it Zuckerberg?
You have to. The edge goes to Jensen. Okay. Mark has done a great job, though.
Okay.
Mark has done a great job, but I think Jensen, like when your decision making impacts the country, that's bigger than just business as a whole. Like he is the darling CEO, and Nvidia is a darling, like publicly traded company of America right now. So I think he gets the edge.
He has a corporate edge. I think he's in your pocket, right? Zuckerberg's in the world's pocket. Yeah. Literally. Everybody's using his platform.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Powell has obviously he has a huge role to play, and it's a tough decision, right? He still is talking about having this 2% interest, like 2%. I don't know how.
I would not want that job, bro.
The problem is if you make the cut, and all signs are pointing to a quarter cut in September, and the market's kind of priced that in already. If you make the cut, you know what happens to the market.
Oh yeah,
it shoots up
to the moon,
right?
Meme coins going back up, all stocks are going up. Yeah,
if he cuts it to a half a point, now we're talking about a real rise in the market. If there's a rise, then there could be the chance that inflation peaks up again.
Absolutely.
Now, if it peaks up again, now what?
And housing prices, man.
Then what? Right? Because
it's tough.
how do we? This is a balancing act that becomes super difficult. So I understand why they haven't made one to this point, because he's watching the economic data. Geopolitical factors will play a role in that. Obviously, the catalyst of, or maybe not catalyst of Nvidia, will have a role to play in that. But it's delicate. It's like a super delicate, and that's why he has the toughest job. And I mean, I think he's done a pretty. He's going to get to the soft landing. I know you said no about the soft landing. They're pretty adamant in making it there. And if he can do this balancing act, it will be one. But if I don't know because after September, I'll say this: after September, every indicator has shown that there's going to be a cut every month going into 25. All right, so we're talking maybe we shave inflation, we save the rates down by.
Wait, so they're going to do one September, October, November?
They had a quarter for September. I think they skipped October. They had a half a point in November, and then another quarter in December. So you're talking about.
Senor Trump, you can wrap it up.
So then you can see a full point by the end of the year.
What? That's like if I go to everybody's house before investors and give them $3,000. Like, yo, I'm gonna be the people's favorite.
But
like,
you know who's gonna really win in the end? The retail investor, if that happens.
That's true.
Which is why you got to have this guy giving you the price, because if you're in that flow of it, that you're gonna
be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
for sure. Do you think they should cut rates September and October?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it'll help stimulate the economy
for sure,
and it'll help curb fears of a pending recession.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of putting that off.
Yeah,
that's like when your girl want to have a talk with you, but then you like gotta stay late for work, fellas. I seen you.
Yeah, I gotta do a little overtime.
I know we got to talk about overtime.
Yeah.
So speaking of Nvidia, earnings come out Wednesday. A lot of people are anticipating their earnings. So
Super Bowl.
Bank of America is offering a market hedge.
Mistake
on that. So, let's talk about that with Bank of America, and then also let's talk about Nvidia's upcoming earnings report. Right, like what is the expectations for it?
I think they will beat earnings, but I don't think it'll be a home run. I think people want blockbuster. Now, if you get blockbuster earnings, great, but I wouldn't set my hat to that. It goes back to your rule of investing of being conservative. I think if they set a conservative tone and over-deliver, going back to that under-promise, over-deliver, everything will be fine. As far as a hedge, I love everyone at Bank of America. Brian Moynihan, one of the best finance CEOs. But I think to offer a hedge for a retail investor at this time would be a mistake. Now, if you're institutional or a fund manager, that may be different. But I don't think there is a hedge that will give you a great return if you miss out on the upside of Nvidia for the next 2 or 3 years.
And the hedge is you're shorting.
Yeah. Or you're going to opposite.
Got the puts.
Yeah. So, like, even if, let's say, you're positive that AMD or Supermicro will do better, maybe for a short period of time. But I think it's been very clear that it's established, like, Nvidia is going to be the leader for at least the next 2 or 3 years, especially if Tesla has to be removed or will be removed out of Mag 7. Like, you have to find another component to then put that in, because everything, you can't have a fund weighted 22% on Nvidia. Like, so have mild expectations. If they come in and hit a home run, even better. But I don't like going in. That's like when I was saying Bitcoin was going to 100,000. Once they place that expectation on it,
all you can do is fall onto it.
It's only down from there. It's only down.
Yeah, I think they'll hit a home run. I just
so?
don't think it'll be a grand slam.
Okay,
How's
I
that?
can see that.
Right? Because they've gone beyond that. Yeah. Like they're looking like Aaron Judge out here right now, right? Yeah. So I think they're looking like Aaron Judge. I said they're looking like.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, got you.
What's the pause?
Was the reach?
It was slight. Right. I don't know if it'll be maybe right, but I would anticipate a home run here, based on all of the sales and the revenue that they're getting from, like you said, super corporate. The announcement of Blackwell, they said there was delays. They came back.
That's the only part
so that's what I'm saying. That is the slight thing, right? I said before, it was what is the cost worth to spend, and the other part is how delayed is the Blackwell product. Like I said, they're doing new innovation each year. Once they announced it, it was like, oh wait, the product's going to be delayed already. They said there's not the truth of that. It was overexploited, right? And so we'll see how many people have ordered that, because that will probably be in this quarter to see an announcement of it, how many orders will come, and if it's going to meet the expectation of delivery by the end of this year or the top of next year. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't think we're going to get disappointed Wednesday.
No,
I don't.
No,
I think it's a home run.
Yeah. I mean,
and if it's not, great. I'm buying more.
Yeah,
we'll see. Because sometimes Meta hit a home run and they stocks drop.
that's the interesting part about
It's
earnings.
true.
Yeah, you can hit a home run, rocking on all cylinders. And if we just talk mind share and use of app, I don't know an app that gets more use than
Yeah,
well, what's in the matter between WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook?
Right.
Watch time is incredible. Maybe YouTube is the next closest, maybe, but I didn't see people on YouTube all week. I saw everybody on IG.
Everybody's there.
Yeah.
And as part of being a publicly traded company is that you have to do quarterly.
Yeah.
You have to release your financial statements to let the people know.
Ladies, you should make some of the men do the same thing. Put that paperwork out, fam.
Put your paperwork.
We'll talk about it on Blackout.
The P&L.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how Nvidia does.
That's actually a great idea.
No, it's not. We don't watch anybody's money.
So people be watching ours.
Leave that to the other people.
Profit and loss. So what are the biggest lessons learned from InvestFest, and how can individual investors?
Oh man, we'd be here all day. Like, what was your biggest lesson? I'll start with you. Like, biggest lesson, biggest takeaway that had like the most impact on you
from investing?
I mean,
just in general.
Okay. It's always the power of networking. Like, as far as all right. So Steve Harvey had never met 50 Cent before. I don't think they ever really chopped it up. And so they connected for the first time, and then they was talking about business. Like, they was talking literally like Steve Harvey was telling them, like, you need to do this, you need to do this. We could work together on that. So just seeing that firsthand, that's at the highest level possible. But it just reinforces the theory that, like, they obviously have ways to get in touch with each other, right?
Yeah.
They follow each other on Instagram.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They can shoot each other a DM. But there's nothing like an in-person.
Yeah.
The in-person, within 15 minutes, they talking about doing business together.
Mm-hmm.
Where for 20 years, they've known of each other.
That's crazy.
They have close friends, right?
Yeah.
They could have done this 20 years, but it just wasn't, we're not connected.
And can we talk about right environment fosters that as well?
For sure. The right, that's what I'm saying. So that, and then the good energy so that for sure. And then, as far as panels, because I don't really get to see a lot of investors because I'm behind the stage. But man, your panel, your segment got a lot of great feedback. Artificial intelligence, X, shout out to her.
Yeah.
At least like 5-10 people hit me like, yo, who's this? I need to meet this person. Like, she's super dope. She's super knowledgeable. That got great feedback. Home buyers workshop.
Yes.
That was something that a lot of people, I think, received a lot of value in. I can go on and on, student loans, whatever. So as far as like, I look at it like, okay, there's the relationship aspect of it, which that's one thing, meeting people.
Can we say relationships are the biggest asset that no one talks about or values properly?
For sure, definitely. That's going to be the determining factor. So the relationship aspect, for sure. Then from the informational aspect, that really just depends on what you were interested in and what you went to, right? Because some people didn't go to everything. That's okay, but you have to get the individual value from there. But also from just looking at it from a scale standpoint and seeing all the businesses in the vendor marketplace. And Ty Davis has said something. Ty Davis, that's our camera guy. Shout out to Ty. And he said he was gonna make a video because he was like, Ty, if you see us, you're gonna see Ty. He's around us all the time. And he was like, when he was walking through the vendor marketplace to capture content on one day, and he was like, he walked through like 6 rows of booths, and he was like, nobody like tried to sell him. Like they didn't try to like go out. And he was like, he thought that was a mistake because they wasn't being aggressive enough. And he was like, yo, they don't even know who I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, yo, but I might want to buy your product. Or I might want to, tell the guys about your product. Like, yo, this is dope. He was like, they was just looking at me, waiting for me to come to them.
Doesn't work like that.
And he's like, yo, I'm not just gonna go out of my way and just go to you.
Yeah.
Like 9 times out of 10.
That's interesting. Only person who tried to sell me something was Angel. What with the glasses?
You gotta be a wolf out here,
that's
man.
crazy.
Hey, she's like, hey, you want the? I was
Yeah,
like,
you
okay,
gotta be
I
a
ain't mad at
wolf.
you.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I
be a
didn't even
wolf
think
out
of
here,
that because,
man.
like,
Yeah.
obviously, when we walk into space, it's like people want us to come to their booth.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, I would imagine that would happen to Ab and some of the guys that they
You have
always
to
see with us.
ask.
It's like, oh, these guys in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
we always tell people it's to surrounding people. You gotta attack the perimeter.
Yeah.
If you know Todd takes pictures of us and he's walking,
Yeah.
you gotta get him. You see B, you know he's with us. You see Pierre, you see you gotta go get them.
Yeah.
Because they can relay a message to us.
Absolutely.
But then I was also very inspired. I saw a lot of young people. I mean, we had the kids from our community that came.
That
That
was
was
incredible.
fire.
That was dope.
Then there was kids from the Bronx that came. Then there was another group of kids from the Bronx that came that just wasn't aware of them. They just randomly stopped me in the hallway, and that was dope. That was a dope moment. There was a lot of young people there
Yeah.
with like older chaperones. Shout out to all the chaperones and group leaders that took kids there. But that was dope too. I met some college kids, some kids that just graduated from college,
hungry.
that were there.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of young
Mhm.
people, like teenagers, early 20s, that was there for sure. But I think that the biggest takeaway for me, whenever going to something like Invest Fest, which there really is nothing like Invest Fest, but whenever going to like that environment, the biggest takeaway is, did I leave with 3 people that I could connect with?
Yeah.
I keep saying that because it's the relationships is always the most important aspect. You're going to get the information. The information is powerful, but if you have to learn. And some people was like, well, how do I network with people?
You have to walk up to them.
And I actually did do a whole talk on this.
You did.
For EYL University, if you're interested. Maybe I'll.
And shit from Market Mondays in Toronto.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but it's not as complicated as you think. You just gotta, get out of your comfort zone and just find ways to just network and meet people, because that in-person experience, very rare you're gonna be around 20,000 people that's only there for business.
Mhm.
They're not there to party. They're not there to, they only there for business. So that is always going to be the takeaway for me, man. But I felt like a lot of people just did meet a lot of great people from what I've been hearing and just seeing. And it was a lot of international people from Africa,
absolutely.
people from Canada. Toronto was up there heavy.
Shout out to the 6.
People from London.
Yeah. So,
London. Fact.
London was in there.
London
That's
was
a
definitely
fact.
in there.
That's a fact. So it's a few things that I just observed.
Yeah. Did you connect with 3? Because I think even now at this level, they probably think, oh, we must know everybody. There's nobody we can
still
meet.
Connecting.
Did you?
I mean, I connect with
a bunch of people, right?
A million people, for sure. But then it's also about fostering even strong relationships in the people that you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, let's do this. Like talking to whoever. It could be Tabidi. Like, I haven't seen him in a while. Like, this is the first time I'm seeing you. Let's talk. Like, that's part of it too. Like, you might not see the person all the time.
Yeah. Deep in the relationship.
So when you get a chance to meet them, it's like, all right, I haven't seen you in 4 months. Let's build. Like, let's really figure this thing out so we can do something together.
That's crazy. Like, I was going to start there, but you kind of ended it with it felt like this is like a reunion now.
Absolutely.
Like, there's people like, yo, this is my 3rd one. I'm like, yo, you remember? Of course I remember you. We took the picture. People showed. I remember somebody was showing us the bracelets that they had from each event. And I'm like, this feels like a reunion where we're seeing people, we're seeing their development, we're seeing their growth, even internally. Like I was telling Ab, I'm watching Pierre develop from the kid who we used to have on the basketball team in the 6th grade to now somebody that's handling the logistics and making sure everybody's good. Like his development, Ab's development over the past 4 years when he started working with Earn Your Leisure to now what's like the COO of this company, this brand, and everything he does with investors, that growth. Yeah. But community, even from the people that were there, was like, I think that was what really stuck out to me. I had this encounter with this young man, and he came up to me and he was like, Troy, I want to tell you this story. Can you stop for like 2 minutes? I'm like, of course I'm going to stop. Let me hear the story. He's like, I brought this homeless gentleman in. He was standing outside. He asked me what was going on. I said, you got to come in. They didn't let him get a bracelet. I bought him a ticket. I said, that's great, man. I appreciate that. He said, but let me tell you what happened when he came into the marketplace. He said, I went around to vendors that had clothing, and each vendor put a package of clothing together, amazing. And they gave him clothes. Yeah. Then I got a couple of people to donate money, and he went to the food village and had vouchers to eat. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, that's community. Yeah. I had another gentleman, this is crazy, teenager, and that energy from the youth was there. He was like, look, I'm 19 years old. I was trying to get my ticket. I was trying to save up to it. I tried to do a payment plan. I couldn't do it. But I said, I need to be in this building. And I'm like, all right, so what happened? He's like, look, I signed up for the volunteer list. I figured the best thing I could do is help. The volunteer list was so long, I was on the wait list. I just started showing up, and I just started picking up garbage. I started picking up garbage, and I kept going. And I finally, he's like, I walked in, and they saw me. They're like, what are you doing here, young man? He's like, I'm trying to volunteer. They brought him to the volunteer booth. He got a T-shirt to volunteer. His first assignment, he was like, I need you to get some speakers from their cars to the speaker lounge. First person you get is Van Jones.
And listen, I'm going to say this too, for all y'all who walk past Van at VIP night, y'all don't want no money. What are you doing?
Here's the best part.
What?
Van likes the kids so much, he gives them his phone number, his email. He wants to stay in contact with them. He said, look, while I'm here at the Best
How early was he there?
Oh, he was early. He was early.
You gotta be there early. Yeah.
He liked them so much, he said, I want you to stay with me for the whole day. While I'm here, you stay with me. He then walked around with them. Van told everybody how great of a young man this dude was. Yeah. He got to meet everybody. Yeah. Right? The next day, he's still volunteering. He goes, now he's with OSG. Shout out to the OSG family. Yeah. Shout out to Trav, Fia, incredible panel. He's like, yo, I didn't get the ticket. He's telling the story. Shout out to Dennis. Dennis is like, yo, you want to meet the guys? He was like, yo, I would love to. Yeah. First thing I run into is Dennis and the young man. Yeah. And he tells me this story. And I'm like, that's community. Yeah. Right? Like, he had no ticket, volunteered, got his way up, and got to me to tell us, like, yo, y'all have changed my life with information. I was just so proud to hear his story. But that's what it's about. Yeah. I mean, there's so many of these community stories. We had a vendor who was selling waist beads.
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Not only is she making a lot of money in the vendor market from waist beads, but she's giving it back to communities in Africa. Like, there's so many of these community stories that obviously the main stage is a lot of information. Obviously, is valuable and everybody that's up there. But there's so many of these stories and so much community that's happening. Mm-hmm. I got like almost emotional thinking about it. Like, yo, this is what it's about. This is what community looks like. This is what coming together looks like. This is what working together looks like. This is what bonds are built like, right here. So yeah, it felt like that reunion feel, but it felt like community too.
Yeah, it was amazing. One thing I picked up on, the bigger or wealthier the person, the kinder they are. Like, notice is always the middlemen who act like they're the star of the show. Like, Don Peoples got off stage and say, great job. He's like, I'm gonna stay here and watch you. If you need anything, let me help you. Like, any advice? Like, just do. I'm like, he's like, I'll watch your stuff, dude. I'm like, damn. I know he's been on the show, right. But he knew information I've covered. He went over Nvidia. He was like, how did you know? So just to see his curiosity was like, damn, this is Don Peoples, yo.
Special dude.
The interview with 50 was amazing for a couple points. Even though him and Puff had their battles for a long period of time, it tells you how serious that situation is when even now 50 won't say nothing bad about Puff. It tells you, like, he talked about it, like, listen, I was paying a company this. They were tacking on double. What, they took $6 million from him. Yeah. But so now if you try and sue, I'm going to defame your name and ruin your career and call it. That's scary as hell. Like, someday I know y'all tell the full story. That's scary to be like, okay, you took $30 million from me, but if I sue, you're going to ruin my entire legacy.
Yeah.
That's insane. And then I think just the power of, like, connecting with the people. You know, I love being amongst the people and shaking hands and kissing babies, but just to see the impact. Like, it was a lady who was like, yo, I joined in 2020. So I started with 15,000. I'm up 1.2 million. Show me your account. I'm like, what? It's like, I'm proud of you. It's like, what do you? I'm like, I don't even need a testimonial. The fact that you just are making the money and you look happy and you're taking care of your family and was able to retire her mom and dad, like, that's absolutely incredible. But to see all the entrepreneurs, like, everybody was in no drama, good spirits, everyone's networking.
And shout out to all the entrepreneurs that came, that wasn't speaking, that just came to support.
Yeah,
so a lot of people, influencers. That I saw that was posted that they was at InvestFest that were not speaking. And you can only put so many people. We had 120 speakers, so you can only put so many people on the bill.
And that's why when you get on stage, you got to make the most of it because there's some competition in the building.
For sure.
Yeah,
that's
sure. It gets more and more competitive every year. And of course, shout out to everybody that, you know, the drip journeys, everybody that threw it on, you know, the drip journeys. Yeah. It was a lot of
congrats to you for making Fashion Vibe, baby.
Appreciate it.
Finally, it was longer, but it was the right one.
Appreciate
it was the
you.
right one.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Appreciate you. Shout out to Mike B. Shout out to Ty Davis for
Yes.
I know Ty
capturing the moment.
Yes.
Shout out to Fashion Pop. Finally.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Finally.
Jeez, what I gotta do, man. But nah, man, I saw you had the double-breasted.
Had to.
You had a double-breasted joint, man.
Vibes, you know?
That was dope, man. You know, Troy went the silk satin route.
Yeah.
Mike did the chronic
color
on color.
color on color.
Yeah. No, that's what he did.
I'm saying it was. Which one was your favorite?
The Suge Knight red, the satin red vibe. Yo.
You like that one? I was gonna go.
That,
I like the gray one.
Like the gray one?
Yeah, because he had the LV loafers on.
Yeah. Tough.
Yeah. Because when he wore, he had it with the jacket, but then it looked flat without the jacket too. Yeah. So I gotta give him that one. Shout out to Mike.
19 keys. Absolutely.
Had cornrows.
Yeah. That's shout to say.
Braided his hair.
Shout out to Keys, man. We had a great talk at dinner.
At dinner, yeah.
He braided his hair, and all the ladies too. All the ladies that
Kiana as always.
Yeah, for sure. So it was just a dope. You know, it really feels like the Grammys or the ESPYs. And then also, speaking of InvestFest and a highlight moment, as I said, we had 50, and of course, 50 was a major inspiration for everything. As far as Get Rich or Die Trying, changed the game a few different times.
A bunch of times.
So I don't know if you was there, but I actually also said that you were a major.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Ian, somebody that we met 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Flies.
Yeah. So
5. 2020.
5, yeah, for sure.
January you did that.
So we've built Earn Your Leisure, and we've been doing this. I was a financial advisor. He was an educator before we had Earn Your Leisure, so it was still in the realm of educating.
Why do you always tell people that? Because it's a good business lesson in it.
What?
That you're a financial advisor.
Because some people think, some people
out. Yeah.
Some people be like, "Yo, how is this guy qualified to speak?"
Yeah.
So
why.
I actually
did some things,
even though you don't have to do it for a living.
Yeah.
But
no, you have to. If you're gonna talk at this level. Yes.
But I love when he says it because it talks about purpose of just walking in it, and you know what I mean, like you're doing it just because you feel like that's what you're supposed to be doing, or that's a career choice. But sometimes that might be your purpose, right? So he was already in the world of finance. I was already in education. The fact that this is financial education, we have just added another layer to the purpose.
And the next layer is we are coming out with a book.
Yes.
Our first, thank you, appreciate it. Our first piece of literature will be released in early 2025, but you can pre-order it now. Yeah. You Deserve to Be Rich.
Yes.
You Deserve to Be Rich.
That's a great title.
Appreciate it. and yeah, man, this is, we just wanted to, eventually we had to write a book.
Yeah.
But felt like this is something that we can just add the value that it can be documented in time and hopefully stand the test of time and be one of the books that, we talk about Who Stole My Cheese and Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Money Masters of the Game. And this is a lot of books, but not a lot of books written from our perspective, from our culture. So, we wanted to just be one of the people that added to the literature aspect of it, and then I'm sure we'll have some other doors to kick down after that. some other balls and some other people that might be, coming through, But go to
19 Keys book on the way.
The metaverse. Yeah. Oh man, go to youdeservetoberich.book.com and you can pre-order it, and special discount for all the pre-orders. And we'll be talking about it more because it doesn't come out for a couple of months. But just wanted to announce that because we announced that on stage with 50 yesterday.
Can we talk about the importance of dress? I know people think you just do it for like egotistical reasons.
Dressing?
Yes. But I know it's talked about you have to dress how you want to be addressed. But I'm telling you, there's a difference between me walking through with a suit versus...
it's very important. And then also the Don Peoples thing. So remember the guy that won the contest that we did to meet Don Peoples?
Yes.
So Price. Because me, him, Romaine from Bloomberg and Don Peoples was all having a conversation backstage, and for 40 minutes, Don, because he works for FINRA and he's trying to get in. I think he's trying to get into real estate development. Yeah. So Don was just literally like just talking about the ups and downs, his experiences, the challenges. Like he was literally, it wasn't just like, no, just, hey, I'm gonna shake your hand. Nice to meet you. Like he was having like a full-blown conversation with him. I'm like, this is somebody that's net worth upwards of $700 million. And he was just free with the flow with the information. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was thought. I just wanted to highlight that because a lot of times people don't be like, oh, I'm gonna meet somebody. I'm like, what is that going to do? And then also, Damon John said something that was ill when he was like, you know, I'm sure you guys invested to be here, and a lot of your friends are saying like, this is a waste of money. Why are you going to come? You're not going to get no value out of this. And he was like, that's the same people used to say that to me. And he was like, and those people are crackheads. So he was like, yo, like, don't take advice from losers. He was like, yo, like, people is always going to find some level of negativity
to add into
or try to, you know, tear it down or whatever. He was like,
crackhead play.
Focus on the people that's here. Don't focus on the noise that's trying to discourage you. But as far as dressing, I think
before you go to dressing, because I wanted to say that I'm glad you brought up the Don Peoples in because Bryce won that. That was like one of those raffles we did.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of times people are like, oh, it's a raffle. Nobody ever wins it. But like, nah. Not only did he do that, he was with him for like 2 hours. This wasn't like he was that conversation. Then he was backstage with him. And then our all access person, he was at the dinner.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool. He was cool.
He was cool dude.
Hey, energy matters.
Got a little Louis the 13th.
He was cool.
Cool dude, man. These things really happening.
As far as dress, I think it's important to curate because it is important. Like Steve Harvey came with that.
Oh my gosh.
That alligator.
Ellie,
I said that was gonna happen. Right?
They said that cost $10,000. He made Fashion Bomb daily.
Yeah.
They said that cost $9,900.
But did the shoes get on there too?
Yeah, I think they just showed the jacket, but he had the jacket and he had the shoes. But say what you want about Steve Harvey, you're going to notice. It's going to hold him in a certain level of respect. Yeah. Like that's the first thing 50 said. Like, yo, you want to start on us like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a joke, but he noticed. It's true. It's noticeable. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
we walked in down 50. He felt my shirt. He was like, all right, cool. I thought I wore the white fabric. He saw a shot. He was like, this nigga gonna try to outdress us.
So told you, elevated.
But it's important, I think, and that's why I wanted to wear a suit. I feel like we have elevated to a very important role in business globally.
Absolutely,
globally. Like when you look at when we're up there, like you said, with IMF conference and you know the Davos and stuff like that. So
only people in our space to do the world tour.
That's a fact. So I feel like. Sometimes people will judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely.
Right?
It always happens.
And sometimes you got to do things provocative, but then also you have to be mindful of the type of image that you're curating so you can be held in the regard that you want to be held in.
Absolutely. I agree 1,000%. Like there is a difference between, and it shouldn't matter, but like you said, people do judge and they're assessing, can you put certain things together? Quality of material, like because if you're talking about wealth and you have a $40 suit, something is off. Fellas, I'm telling it does make a difference. Even in the presentation, I knew it would be a big moment. I had to wear a suit. It wouldn't hit the same in J's and shorts. Yeah. So you have to pick because you're going to attract and detract the people based on what you do have on and the information that you give.
That's a fact.
I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all on that, man.
All right.
Sorry for the Invest Fest talk, but it was important, man.
It's important, and it was legendary, and it was like I said, when I told people like history awaits us, it was because I want them to mentally prepare because you're part of this. Like you're part. Like yes, obviously as founders of it, we're part of it. Obviously, people that are on stage, they're part of it. But the people that are in the audience, like y'all gonna remember this moment. Like this is being documented. Shout out to the AV team. Shout out to
they were incredible. Even him, AV team, gracious. Like these are some small lessons. The more money you make, the kinder you have to be. Like he didn't have to talk to me for 30 minutes and how the planning that you guys went through and all the meetings that you had to make sure the sound impeccable, visuals were impeccable.
That's a fact. Shout out to and then also
let me just shout out to the social media team as well. Because those visuals, the way they're being captured, it feels like it's a documentary. It feels like a timepiece. It feels like it's a capsule of history. And people are in those videos. And so we want to, like, when we go down the road 5, 10, 20 years, they're going to look back at 2024, what happened there, who was the headliner, what was the, like, who came from that, right? Did that spark the person that created the next innovation in some form of technology or some form of healthcare? Like, it's historical, so we should treat it like that.
Yeah, for sure. But also everybody that went, now you guys have to be defenders of InvestFest, because you see, anytime, there's so like,
it's a good point.
It's true.
Even said Mike Rubin, right, when he was like, black people love to tear black people down. And he got a lot of pushback for that because he's a white person saying that, but it's true.
That's truth in it.
So it's like, now you can't, if there's any narrative of like, yo, there's just gonna be celebrities there and they're gonna tell you believe in yourself, you gotta be like, yo, this is the furthest thing from the truth, right? It's over 100 panels talking about artificial intelligence, talking about crypto, talking about stocks, talking about how to buy a home, talking about real estate, talking about marketing. And we went and we sat in, and there was detailed information, and they actually provided a blueprint, and Ian spoke for 40 minutes and went straight to information. So
90 slides.
You can't just let somebody like Vlad or anybody who's trolling be like, yo, they just gonna tell you believe in yourself. You saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
And we put out clips so people can, even the celebrities like Damon John provided information.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how to save money on taxes. He was talking about his stock picks. He was talking about, like, he went straight for information. So now it's up to y'all guys to, because like I said, it's anybody could just say anything, right? But the truth has to be upheld by the people that actually know it. So if you know the truth, if you was at InvestFest, you know the truth. So if you see any level of negativity or any level of misinformation, please be a public defender, because what happens is that on social media, the regular people are quiet and the haters are loud.
Very loud.
So it'd be like 1% of the population, but they look like they're more.
The majority.
But that's not. Nobody can say that they didn't get value. If you didn't get value out of this weekend, you made a conscious decision not to get value.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go. You just went to the parties. You didn't go to the workshops. You didn't go to the panels. Like you made a conscious decision, and that's okay. But that's your decision that you made. It wasn't like it wasn't available to you. You just made a conscious decision to not take value in the situation.
And if you didn't get value out of the dinners and the parties, there's something wrong with you too.
That's another type of value that
we're talking about on blackout, but
that's another type of value.
R&B vibing.
Canada.
Hey Ian, you look so cute on stage.
I seen that. I see that. I literally watched that happen for you. I seen that happen for you.
Oh boy.
I see that happen for you.
Oh my God, it's giving what it's supposed to give. I bet.
It's giving what it's supposed to
you put the shade, you put the shady trick. You had the shades on that night. You had the shades. They couldn't look you in the eye.
Never. Come on. I'm so proud of you. Are you?
You're so proud.
What you did with the kids and the marching band? Oh, you want to beat the drum? Got you.
You like that? That's my song too.
Got you. Shout to Jabari.
Shout out to R&B only.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
Shout out to Toronto. Canada has imposed 100% tariff on imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles, mirroring the U.S. What are the important implications of this move in the auto industry for the international trade relations?
When I saw it, I got it because of the relationship between U.S. and Canada, but the tariffs thing usually don't end well. Like, even going back to value, even if we talk about, and I know you guys got criticized for Puff segment, but the message he gave is a really important one.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so far you can climb before you can take on these entities and they take you down.
Facts.
That's a mitigation of risk conversation.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So to the tariffs, I'm like, I get the U.S. is doing this with China, but if Canada is in trouble with their banking system and things are being compressed, can you afford to go to war with China? It's like,
are you strong enough?
I don't think the U.S. is not going to have your back if hell on earth breaks out for you in Canada. So I get the doing it from an alliance standpoint, but if there's an economic, let's say, contraction because recession isn't here, now is not the time for war.
Facts.
So I think it was a misstep. I know they needed to do it for the support from the U.S., but I wouldn't have wanted to be forced to do this.
Yeah. Could be sensationalized as well. I'm thinking to myself, the EV market in America.
Yes.
How big is it? 7% of vehicles?
Yes.
What do you think the EV market is in Canada?
Maybe. I mean, it's cold.
It's
right. Cold.
Right. So it's probably even less, which means
maybe
that
3%.
Probably even smaller.
Okay.
Right. So you think how many EVs are moving from China to Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not that many.
Yeah.
So I mean, does it bring in that much income that is right? The first thing is like, are you powerful enough? But it could lead to other things that now China decides that, hey, we're going to put a tariff on this. Like the U.S. can dabble with this, right? We can put tariffs,
we have more power,
and we have more. We have more innovation.
That's one thing we talked about with Tim Scott. Like the tariffs on China did have an impact on farms and small businesses. We can act like as if it didn't. It had a tremendous impact.
It had an impact on tech, right? Nvidia wasn't always at this rate, right? Like when we're talking about it 3 years ago, it was under $200. It hurts, right? So you can say, hey, you can't make these chips for this country, and we can go vice versa with technology. We can do with agriculture, but like, do you have that luxury, right? You do the EV, they pull and move. You can't recover really, but your alliance obviously is going to be to America. So it's interesting, but I don't think the impact is as great because the market's so small.
And also, it's not worth the risk. If the reward outweighs the risk by 5 or 10, great. You have a small EV market, but if China puts tariffs on you in a bunch of different areas, it can gridlock your economy.
Yeah. Majority of their economy, the largest sector is finances.
They told me that foreigners can't buy real estate right now, something like that.
It's like
in Canada, there's a lot going on. But then also shout out to Will.i.am until we forgot about him.
He
spoke. It was crazy. He actually talked about how he invested in Tesla before Elon Musk took the company over, and that's a great lesson too because he was saying that they booked him for a show, Black Eyed Peas for a show, and he got paid $600,000 to perform like a corporate gig.
Yeah.
And but he was interested in electric cars. So he did research. Long story short, and he wanted to set up a meeting up with the founders, and he drove to wherever they was located, San Jose or whatever, and he met with the founders of Tesla. People don't know Elon Musk is not a founder of Tesla, and he met with the founders of Tesla, and he believed in it. He invested $80,000 in Tesla.
Amazing investment.
Before Elon took over, and his exact words, he's like, that 80,000 has turned into so many zeros behind it now. It's crazy. And he was like,
also shows power of a 10 to 15-year-old.
Yeah. And he still hasn't sold.
This is longer than that.
He's like, he still has not sold his Tesla position.
And the other company too, not the big company, but the phone company too. He still got them shares.
He hasn't sold anything.
Yeah.
So and the audio company as well.
We got to talk about the revolutionary, but things you can see when people are really wealthy is how relaxed and how chill he was. You can like feel the wealth coming up and how smart he is. I don't think people understand. I got a chance to talk to him for 5 minutes. I heard we're going to talk about some stuff coming. That app.
Oh, you heard
it. Telegram. Prayers for your founder who got locked up, but this may take that over.
Yeah,
the capabilities in that app, and I don't come on here and just.
FYI, that's the app. FYI. Well, shout out to Will.i.am. But yeah, that was another one that was super informative.
Andrew Tate and the Telegram founder. You can only speak out on, I'm getting on this real fast in and out. You can only speak on certain things before it's not worth the risk.
Well, that's what 50 said yesterday about Puff.
No, it's not. Kanye, like, bro. Yeah, disassemble your whole life and the public are watching, clap while it's happening and won't do anything to support you. So even on Black, I'm like, well, I want y'all to talk about the Bilderberg. You crazy? Shout out to Bill and Berg. Young Berg. You crazy?
Young Berg.
That's a fact. So Chipotle, it split a couple weeks ago and then it suffered a recent decline. So what's the deal with Chipotle now? Is it time to start buying Chipotle stock?
I think so. I will slowly ease into it. I do want to see the succession plan because when you lose a great CEO like the one they lost, it does have an impact. Now, they do have great systems in place. I do like the stock. I do want to see what changes they will make after losing him because some people are just great drivers of a business. He was one of them. But if we're going to be very honest, like that stock, one of the biggest mistakes that I made is when they had that deep dip and I sold off a few years ago.
2018.
And it goes to show, like, and even though like I made it up in other AMD, Nvidia, Lilly, stuff like that, like it just shows the power of holding and letting the restructuring. Will.i.am is a great example of that. Before Elon got there was not as much fanfare for the stock. Just holding through every wave of ups and downs is really key. But fundamentally, the business is still great. Profit margins is great. We talked about it on Blackout. It's like one of the only fast food places I feel comfortable like going to because of the quality. So yeah, great company. I would look to add some positions to it now. And I think it's one of those companies that you cannot miss out on for like the next 5 or 6 years.
I'm with you. I mean, it just feels like a natural progression. It's kind of what we talked about when stock split, and we just saw it happen in Nvidia. I think the double whammy pause is that you change your CEO right after that. And so people don't like uncertainty. And for the past 5 years, definitely during the pandemic, we've seen Chipotle just after that 2018 when they had the food.
Oh yeah, that crisis was big.
Yeah,
that would have crippled Subway.
Yeah, it was tough, and they took a hit for it, but they recovered nicely. We covered it. What Brian Nicole did to get them back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So now you lose that leader. Now what? And so that I think his effective date is as the new CEO of Starbucks is September 9th.
Right when the rate cuts come.
Right. So you're talking about like in the next week or two, you're gonna name whose predecessor is. That will be important to the future of the stock. But it is a short stock. Like I said, the margins are great. So if it's a stock that was on your watch list and you've been waiting to pull back, like a guy like me, this might be a good time.
Can we talk about the importance of keeping momentum at all costs? Because maybe 15 years ago, Subway was Chipotle. And now I'm worried if Subway is even going to survive.
Subway has the most restaurants in the country.
With one of the deepest pullbacks I've seen. Just like sales are through the floor.
And they've watched the model. Like Chipotle has definitely come in and taken over. Kava is now
absolutely Kava's. I mean, if you put yoga mat in your bread.
But the thing about Kava is that they don't have that many locations yet.
Yeah.
So the growth and the potential for growth is still there. So they come into space. Subway is now for the first time adjusting prices. So the
mistake.
Right, but what they're doing here's what they're doing though, right? So like one of the plans is like let's give them more with a little bit of an elevated price. And so like let's say it was a meal that would have cost $16.99, they're now selling that for $7.99. So they're trying to infuse new ways to generate income, but it's tough, right? When people start looking at healthier options, not that Chipotle is the healthiest option, but it feels like it's a sophisticated fast food. Kava is now in that space. You got a couple other companies that are in the space. So it's tough. It's tough. You have to be innovative. They don't have the mobile part component.
I mean, but it's hard to build a mobile part if the food isn't good. Would you eat at Subway?
Would I eat? And I don't eat fast food, but I eat a tuna fish sandwich if I had to.
From Subway?
Yeah, but I don't.
I used to eat the teriyaki chicken.
Years back.
It was all right.
The tuna sandwich is good.
Yeah.
Did they hit me up about the chocolate thing
Subway?
too? No, Shotty's payday thing. They said it's not really a candy. Somebody texted me that.
It's not.
How's it not a candy?
It's not a candy bar.
What is it?
What is it?
I don't know. They said there's no chocolate in it.
A candy
you can
bar.
have a candy bar without chocolate, can't you?
Can you?
Why not? That's a prerequisite to be a candy bar. So it has to have chocolate. Somebody gave me a payday too, actually.
That's what they be listening. Shout out to everybody that gave me a fist bump. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Food Cupid that offered the hand sanitizer. Appreciate you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a chocolate. There's peanuts and caramel. What is it?
Oh, I thought it was just candy in a rectangle. I don't know. I'm not a Hershey's connoisseur. Shout out to her. But I think it's really important for these brands because we're going through a shift. Like even with Starbucks, Dutch Bros is catching fire.
Yeah.
So like, can you guys talk about the importance of keeping momentum while the brand is hot and not falling back?
It's the company line. We say it to each other all the time. Don't leave it while you're hot. That's how it makes Screwed Up.
Shout out to Betha.
Right? Like when it's hot, pour gasoline on it.
You gotta find ways.
Right. And the way to do that is to be consistent. And so most people after a run like we just had leading up to InvestFest, people don't realize the work that it takes. That is an entire festival.
Yeah.
Market Monday still happens.
Yep.
Earn Your Leisure still happens. Blackout still happens. There's other businesses that are happening, but you have to be consistent with all of them. And so that's what keeps you hot, is because people can rely on you and they know you're going to be consistent. And the consistency brings trust.
Absolutely.
And with that trust, now people feel like, all right, I can go to them You get people from other businesses saying, "Oh, those are the guys."
Reliability is so key.
Yeah, you become the pillar of the space because it's like, all right, we can trust them. We know they're consistent. They've been here for a while. They're vetted. We like these guys. Let's rock with them.
Yeah, most people wouldn't have had the night that we had last night in this show.
Allegedly.
That's a fact.
Allegedly.
Well, no legend for me was a vibe. Oh man.
So the Public Investment Fund has invested heavily in companies like Lucid and Uber. What is driving this investment strategy, and what does the Public Investment Fund see in the future of these companies?
I love this question, and I think it brings it to a bigger conversation about what the goal is for each fund. Contrary to popular belief, everyone doesn't want astronomical gains. They may want to invest in a particular sector. So I think it's important to talk about like what is your thesis and whatever you have in the perspective. So if you're telling investors, I want to give you 5.25% to 8.3% return, maybe they have arbitrage, hedge fund strategy, arbitrage to invest one way in Uber and one way in Lucid to be able to get that gain or have controlling interest in the shares. So I think, because of course, the first thing when I saw the question, I'm like, okay, I wouldn't do it, but my goals are hyper acceleration. For a company that's looking to get small growth or maybe even buy out Lucid Motors and then maybe turn it around, maybe that's what their goal is. So when you're looking at like an investor to see what they're investing in, it has to be dictated based off what that particular goal is, opposed to just deeming like an asset uninvestable or not good. I wouldn't do it per se, but if at scale, when you're buying that many shares, and if you're focused on the automotive space, and listen, ever since we've seen Dara they've done a hell of a job. Uber's done one of the best turnaround jobs I've seen in a long time, and the margins in that business are so thin.
Yeah.
Delivery isn't a business I would want to go into, but like logistically, he's found a way to make that work. He has to be given a lot of credit.
I got to give him credit.
Yes.
The ride share is important to the business.
Yeah.
But a lot of the revenue comes from the delivery business. The Uber Eats thing has really...
Yeah. Me and Rashad are responsible for at least 8% growth.
Just think about what others, like Lyft couldn't do it. It just doesn't even sound right?
Like think about it like this. UPS and FedEx won't do it.
Right.
Like
it's their thing.
That's a tall order.
Until Amazon decides that they'll do it. But they haven't. And maybe they won't. Yet. Maybe they just don't want to do it. But Uber Eats, it feels like its own business. Yeah. It's its own app, right?
If y'all Amazon drivers throw my food on there, how y'all do my packages?
Yeah, and when y'all deliver the food, if there's a table outside, can y'all leave the food on the table and not on the ground? It's just like, please.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Shout out to y'all.
Love you dearly. We haven't lost.
And shout out to my man. He was in an Uber, and I got a phone call, and he was from Nepal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was listening to 50 Cent because he was getting ready to come to InvestFest. And I got the call. He's like, yo, this dude's in the Uber right now. He was like, he's coming to InvestFest. He doesn't even have a ticket yet. He just said he needs to be here. He wants me to play 50 Cent. And I sent him a ticket. I got his email, sent him a ticket, and he pulled up on me. So shout out to him.
Speaking of Nepal, we need another Italy run.
Please. Everybody, it seemed like everybody went there.
I didn't want to say it.
We're not even gonna share locations no more. They're making a mockery of it.
All right.
What more can you do?
Don't forget
Tuscany, here I come.
IanInvest.com stock club sale. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the grand finale. This is the last stock club sale of the year. IanInvest.com. 3 years access to Stock Club, Sniper, entries into the market. It's done for you.
Yes.
Community, group calls, gym of the day. Man, you name it.
Yeah.
You name it. The legendary Stock Club. Accelerate your portfolio. Get right. Become a real high value investor.
Yep.
Go to IanInvest.com. And once again, thank you to everybody that came to InvestFest.
Yeah.
When y'all coming to Montana, come to Atlanta. Come to Atlanta.
Hey, yo,
shout 50 trying to get us a street board.
Yeah, he wants to do that. Shout out to the whole city of Chicago. Chicago was in there.
Shout was in there.
Shout out to Cleos. Shout out to Chrissy.
Yes.
She sent me a text. It was crazy. She was like, yo, Troy, I know you're busy. You know when people say, I know you're busy?
Yeah.
They know you're busy.
Yeah.
And she was like, it would mean everything if I could just somehow just talk to Pinky. She's like a huge role model.
Shout out to Slutty Vegan in the speakers lounge.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're welcome,
Thank
brother.
you.
I got you.
I needed
got
that.
You. Yeah, I got
Ooh,
you.
Phenomenal.
We were able to connect them. And it was like, I watched her get emotional just having that moment. But that's what I'm saying. It's that community feel. Like people are impacting people. They don't even know it. Then they get to meet these people in real life. And it's like, wow. It's like the proximity is there of success. So shout out to Chrissy. Shout out to the entire city of Chicago. Dre was in the building. Shout out to our brother Ross Mack, who opened up Invest Fest. Our dog. Got to introduce him to Don Peoples.
That's fire.
Which was a big moment for him, which was great.
Shout out to Don too, man. He almost
chill. We'll explain later. We'll explain later. Don't do it. Don't do it. We'll explain later. We'll explain later. Don't do it. No. We'll explain later.
I'll tell you off air.
Yeah.
Shout out to Don.
And shout out to me for having one of the illest stage shows ever. If I put on an amazing show, please put yes in chat.
Put yes in chat.
Come on.
Put yes. Oh, really? Shout out to the artist that did that wax figure of
Wow.
That went viral online.
Wow.
Yeah. And I believe it's the only wax figure of Nipsey in the world. And
that's incredible.
I mean, look just like
wow.
That was crazy, actually. So
that's crazy.
That was dope for him to bring that on stage. And,
as you just said that, Sam just texted us.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Sam.
Salute to Sam. But congratulations, man. Great job.
Thank you.
That you did on stage, man. 10,000 people in attendance at the band. So definitely a great cultural moment for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. And I will say this in closing. Please do not be jealous of anything you did not work for. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
A lot of times in these moments, people be like, yo, why they deserve it? You have to, imagine working all year for one moment and then somebody online be like, why you get to talk to 50? I had the Power of a Dollar mixtape. It took time for this shit to happen, yo. Relationships have been altered. Y'all don't see the behind the scenes of what goes into this, yo. So, for those of you who are inspired, use the weekend as motivation for whatever you have for your dream to come true.
Yeah.
But if you were not inspired, don't criticize. Create more and work harder.
That's a fact.
And we not letting up.
That's a fact.
That's also a fact.
All right, y'all.
Love y'all.
It's been real. We'll tap in
in the
with
black
you.
outfit.
Oh, shout out to the drone team. I think Lunar Lights.
Oh yeah.
For putting Steve Harvey in the sky and making him viral on the internet. Yeah. Shout out to y'all, man. It was incredible. Shout out to the man.
Amazing weekend. That's a lot of work. Y'all think it's all fun? Some long nights for them. My man came in the lobby yesterday. One day I was like, get him a PD light or something.
Yeah, that's
it's a long day.
We got to do it, man.
Yeah.
Peace and love. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Love.